Right, today we're talking about the Motorola Edge 7ii. Right, I'll be honest, I haven't tested this as extensively as I normally do, but I've tested it enough to give you my thoughts, and if you're thinking of buying it, it's worth listening and watching this video. But first, what I'll do, I'll show you what you get in the box. So let's do that first. So you get a pin tool to take your SIM out in there. You get the C2C cable. You don't get a plug in the box sadly, but you could purchase one at Motorola.com. You get your usual booklets and look at energy rating A, which is pretty good. Yeah, no one actually ever reads these, but they're there if you need them. Here's the device itself, of course, gadget grey finish. More on that later. And you get a free case. It's got the MagSafe ring on there, so you can do wireless charging and connect accessories to it. It's excellent. So the box includes what you usually expect, but I think it's a nice inclusion to get this hard case in there. So let's talk about the design. As you can see, it's ultra thin and it's ultra light. It is only 5.99 millimeters thick, or I should say 5.9 millimeters thin, really, shouldn't I? And it only weighs 159 grams. You really don't notice it in your hand hardly. It's the sort of device you could even have in lightweight shorts and it'll be absolutely fine. It wouldn't weigh you down. Despite being light and thin, it is actually very durable. You got Gorilla Glass 7ii on the front, and you got aircraft grade aluminium frame.
Hello, Moto.
You also have IP68 and 69 water and dust resistance, which I'm showcasing here. If you haven't seen the short that I'm showing here, it is footage from the Razr Fold. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. As you can see here, I've got Gadget Grey. I really like the colour. I really like the blue accents around the camera rings and on the AI button. One thing I don't really like though is the Pantone sticker, if you like, at the very bottom. I actually thought it was a sticker when I first unboxed it and tried to rip it off to realise it's a permanent fixture. I'm not a fan of that. I do like the Pantone collaboration though, and we'll talk about that a bit more later on.
That is a super common reaction. Permanent branding elements can definitely ruin an otherwise clean aesthetic, especially if they look deceptively like removable stickers.
As well as Gadget's Grey though, it does come in the following colours. You've got Lily Pad, Bronze Green, and you've got Cloud Dancer, which is actually colour of the year for 2026. You have got an in-screen fingerprint scanner. It's really great, but I wish it was a little bit higher up, because that's where I'd naturally go with my thumb, but it's not a major issue. As we've got to the screen with the fingerprint scanner, let's talk about the screen. It is fantastic. It's a lovely flat screen, which makes it easier to apply a glass screen protector if you want to. Again, although it's thin and light, you have actually got a 6.7 inch POLED screen on this. And with that big screen, you're getting 96% screen to body ratio. And as I mentioned, the Pantone collaboration isn't just actually for the finish on the back of the phone. You've got Pantone validated colours and Pantone validated skin tone. So nice and accurate colours. Talking of colours, it's got 100% of the DJI P3 gamma, and it's 10-bit, which is over 1 billion colours. On top of the lovely colour output, you've got 120Hz refresh rate, 300Hz touch sampling, and it really is super crisp with 446 pixels per inch in bright light. So you've got 4500 peak brightness. I haven't had any issues viewing the screen in bright light, and we have had a lot of sun recently. One thing that may put a lot of people off though is there's no always on display. You have however got sleep display, which is like an always on display, but you need to tap it, so not quite an always on display. But yeah, it's not so bad, but it may put some people off. And I can't believe this is the first time I've shown this in any Motorola video so far. One of my favourite features is chop chop, kapow! And this phone has got it, and actually it's really nice and light, so it's easy to do it with. So I really like the design. It's got a lovely flat screen and it's really vivid and bright and beautiful screen. So that's really cool, right? But what else have we got? Well, let's get into that. Firstly, it's powered by the Snapdragon 7 Gen 4. For me, this chipset has more than enough power for most mobile games. Maybe not the high-end ones, you might get a bit of a start, but it is capable of doing it. But all the tasks I've done, it's really nailed it. Even this video here, I have produced on Capcut on device, and yeah, it didn't give me any trouble. This chipset's also super efficient, so it really helps these 4,800 mAh battery last a full day, which going onto the battery, yes, it is actually fantastic. It's a silicon carbon battery, and yeah, I've easily breezed through a day. Some light users might get day and a half perhaps, depending on what their usage is like, but yeah, easily get through a day with this device. When you do run out of battery, you have got 68 watt turbo charge, which is Motorola's super fast charging, and you've got 15 watt wireless charging as well, so you've got two options there for charging, which is great. You've also got some fairly decent speakers alongside that great screen. It's a dual speaker setup and it's got Dolby Atmos, so it's not the best I've heard, but it's pretty decent. You don't get a lot of bass, but it's very crisp, there's no distortion, so it's really nice speakers for a phone so thin. It really did surprise me actually. So we can't talk about a mobile device anymore without talking about its cameras, and to be fair, this is where I haven't tested it as extensively as I usually would. That is due to having the Razr Fold in-house, which that review will come later on. But anyway, getting back to the Edge 70, the main camera is actually really good. I have tested that a fair bit. You've got a really respectable 1/1.56 inch sensor on there, which is a really good size. It's a 50 megapixel jobby, it's f1.8, and it's a 24mm equivalent. From the limited testing I did, you do get really nice results from this, and other motivators I've spoken to, which have also had this device, they are really praising the main lens on this phone. So yeah, it's really decent. Now you also got an ultra wide, which is a 50 megapixel job, and you've got a selfie, which is also 50 megapixel job. They both got a slightly smaller sensor, 1/2.76 inch sensor, but it's very capable in good light. You start to get a bit more noise in lower light, but it's still pretty decent. One thing it obviously does lack is a telephoto, which is probably another reason why I have not tested it as extensively, because I'm quite a fan of telephoto. You do have 2x cropped in from the main, that comes out pretty decent. Probably 3-4x you're starting to see a bit of digital blocking, and beyond that it might not be usable, but yeah, probably 2x is probably not too bad. So overall, unless you really need a telephoto lens, you've got a decent camera system for such a thin device as well. It's pretty impressive. I'll show you the odd sample on the screen. I might do the usual testing I do in this playroom here, which some of you may be familiar with already from previous videos, and you can see how it comes out. Okay, this is the selfie cam 4K 30. How does it sound? How does look? It's not the best lit room, but it's not too bad. You can see there I've got the Razr 70 Ultra ready for unboxing and review. That'll be coming on the channel soon. It doesn't look like I can flip to a different lens, so I'll have to stop this and change lens. So this is the ultra wide. I should be very much in shot. It should be easy to get myself framed in this one. How does this one look? Again, how's the mic sound? And I'll go on to the main. You can switch lenses from ultra wide to main. So how does that look? How does it sound? Hopefully I'm in frame, it's hard to tell. But I'll soon find out when I add it to Capcut. And no god, no idea if I'm in frame now. I've just put it onto 2x just to give you a little sample of that. Some sample shots. This one is the ultra wide. Moving on to the main lens, and then we have 2x, Here's 10x, which came out better than I expected, and then 20x, which, yeah, is very digital. Another sample from the ultra wide as a base, and then we move on to the main, and then we go on to the 2x once again, and once again 10x, which is again better than I thought it was going to be, and 20x. Here's some from which they zoom. Right, before I go, I did want to say I am a motivator, so I do get products sent by Motorola, but they haven't told me what I need to say, or that this is all my own thoughts, and they are seeing this review at the same time you are. So it's all my genuine thoughts. And as I said, the reason I hadn't tested this as extensively is because I have had the Razer Fold in-house, and that review is coming soon. If you're interested in that, perhaps subscribe. Also, if you've liked this video, give it a like. Just going back to the Edge 70 before I go, this did retail at $699.99, which I thought was perhaps a little bit steep. It did undercut the other thin devices on the market, and you could argue it does offer a lot more. But at the moment, it's $449.99, which is really a banging offer. That's on Motorola's website. And I believe you get the Motorola watch fit with it as well, which is a really nice watch actually as a free gift worth 100 odd quid. So yeah, jump on that deal if you are interested in this device, because that is fantastic. That's direct with Motorola as well. Anyway, much love and goodbye.